So this is the AquaStrong Hex 075 75,000 BTU pool heater. Basically this thing acts as a heat pump. If you understand how a heat pump works, as you can see, the way this heater works is it goes through your, it goes in down here at the bottom where it says water inlet, and it comes out of the top here. So once it goes into the bottom of the heater or heat pump unit will heat the water that's going through it from your pool. Then it will exit out of the heater and then into the pool, and then we'll warm up the pool over time. Now this particular heater requires a little bit of know-how from an electrical standpoint. As you can see, they wanted this unit hardwired, which requires a grounding rod. If you look closely, you can see there is a grounding rod going down into the ground, which grounds my pool filter and also grounds the heater. So if you're not an electrician and you don't have a lot of know-how about these particular heaters, or you don't have a lot of know-how about electrical, then you want to hire a professional to do it for you. This is your display here. As you can see, tap your screen, it says welcome. So as you can see right now, it's showing that the water outlet temperature is 81 and the water return temperature is 78. So we had ours set up at 104 because we were trying to get the water warm enough where we could get inside and clean it. Down here you have a drain plug. Inside here is where you wire your 12 gauge wire. So what we ended up having to do is, because this goes across our path here, I purchased a cable protector, because this cable that is running through here is actually pretty thick, as you can see here in the picture. 12 gauge wire, and it comes from there and goes in here to this quick disconnect box. And here is my liquid tight, which actually runs down, goes into the crawl space, and ties into my electrical panel in my panel box. And this particular setup is 220 volts. It also requires a 20 amp breaker. So this took me about a weekend to install, and that was just, I would say total time installation was approximately, between tying in all my PVC piping and everything, it probably took me, I would say, about 8 hours, split up over 2 days. But the one thing I will say is, if you have any knowledge of electrical, you could do this. You just have to be safe about it and have a little bit of knowledge about installing electrical. A lot of people are intimidated by electrical. I used to be that way. But again, you're talking 220 volts. So it's not like a standard heater that you plug in the wall. I was tempted to buy one of those, but my wife wanted one that would be big enough to heat our pool. They do make heaters that plug into a regular 110 line or a 110 outlet, but we knew with the size of our pool that we were going to need something that put out enough BTUs to heat all this water. So if you look at our pool here, you can see it's about 32 feet long by 18 feet wide, and the heater has been, it's been really helpful as far as heating the pool. So I think the thing that we're excited about is we'll be able to extend the life of our pool season by probably 3 to 4 months, 2 months as we go into winter, and probably 2 months earlier than coming into the spring. Cool. So if you're considering getting one of these pool heaters, I know that AquaStrong makes several different models. and you're going to have to make that decision based on the size of your pool. But I would definitely say it was worth the purchase. It's nice to be able to get in water when it's freezing outside and the water is almost like bath water. You know what I'm saying? Because you know how cold your pool is. If you live in the Midwest, you know if you try to get in that pool like in May, it is ice cold. Even like 60 degrees is like ice cold. Get like hypothermia trying to get in the pool. But long story short, if you can handle a little bit of electrical work, again, you will need a dedicated breaker for this particular unit. And like I said earlier, it takes a 20 amp breaker, double pole breaker, because you have 220 volts, which is basically your regular 110 times 2, 220. And that's what this particular unit is powered by. Like I said, I know AquaStrong makes several different ones. Like I said, if you're intimidated by it having to be hardwired, you can hire an electrician, or you can be a little bit brave and tackle it yourself. Overall, definitely 5 stars. I wouldn't trade it for the world. My wife loved the fact that it has the app attached to it and she can just turn it on and off from her phone. There is one little thing that I noticed, that we kept getting an alert on the app at like different times of the day where it said there was some sort of a malfunction with the heater. And it kind of freaked my wife and I out, because we're thinking we just spent a lot of money on this heater. So nothing to be concerned about. So if you happen to purchase this and you encounter this, it's not that serious, because I reached out to the company. And one thing I will say about AquaStrong, if you reach out to them via email, they are usually pretty good within 20 to 24 hours to get back to you with a response. So the alert that we were getting was making us think that we were damaging the heater, because the heater cannot be on if your sand filter or your pump filter is not running. If you try to run this heater without that filter going, you will damage the heater. Let me repeat that. Do not use the heater if the filter is not turned on. You will damage your heater. So we were getting an indication making us think that we had low water flow. That's what the indication said. And that wasn't the case. There's just some sort of a glitch. So we reached out to the company, and the company said that that was nothing to be concerned about, that if the filter is not turned on, the heater recognizes it and then it registers as a fault, making you think that there's something wrong with the heater when it's just a safety mechanism. So that's one thing that made us feel good, that the company said it was nothing to worry about and that there was actually a way to disable it. Pricey unit. Again, it's the Hex 075. It's pretty heavy. It's probably, I don't know, 150 to 200 pounds. It took both of us to get it out here on the side of the pool. But overall, I think a good purchase. So far, based on what we've experienced, I would give it 5 stars. I wasn't too happy about the installation, not because of that it was difficult or anything. It's just that I have so many other projects going on. It was just one more thing that I had to do. But now looking back, I'm actually glad it's done. My wife loves it, and that's the most important thing, right? So anyway, again, check out AquaStrong's pool heaters, and hopefully you can have the same success that we had.